suspicions. But what about the husband who's on a mission, lying to his wife so he can get it on and get some? Coming back home with a dumb expression written on her face that's guilty as a criminal. It's time to change your attitude. People, do you hear me? Don't listen to a funky rhyme that's kicking knowledge that we need. We lie about our hair and we know we gotta weave. Politicians lie about the things they're gonna do, and every lie they tell affects me and you. I spoke a lot about the money that he stole, and I don't did. I'll never tell you how he got his gold. I guess what Debbie T is really trying to say is when you break it all down, we're really all the same.
I live my life a different way. Refuse to let myself become a victim. Caught up in the vicious web of the lies.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know what? I almost had it on the mark. Throwback Thursday, but it's Friday. Happy Friday, happy witching hour. This is High Priestess Jamila. And I wanted to come and talk about the witch hunt and just kind of, just speak candidly about it. I'm not on trial here. But I think it's interesting, people that the modern day witch hunt, so to speak, to me, it's just as harmful. It is. It's just as harmful. But I mean, they could be coming and snatching people out of their houses and hanging them from trees or either burning witches at the stake. So, at least that's not happening. But I want to talk about the witch hunt that I have been through, which I believe is probably the worst that I have seen in social media history. And boy, oh boy, I needed to take some time to come back and truly sort through this mess and come and talk about it because it was very disturbing. I think what's at the top of the list of the disturbia, though, is my concern for children in certain areas. My concern for, children being around these types of people, sort of the same exact garbage from years ago, the same thing, the same lie, which doesn't make it any less than a lie. And it's pretty disgusting, considering that I'm not just a witch, I'm a mother. And the disgusting aspect of it is that I have had to talk about some of them, or not talk about, but there have been a couple of times where I have had to discuss things that absolutely make me want to throw up or either whoop somebody's butt, whoop somebody's ass, because, and so, it is a very serious thing. I remember yesterday saying that I don't care about what the same witch hunters were saying about me, which, It was a lie back then. It's a lie now. Some of the most awful, disgusting, deplorable things. You can tell that these people are really into what they're talking about. They're really into it. And I think that the modern day witch hunt, I think that what they use witches, in particular empathic witches, for is to dump all of the things that they believe is dirty about them. And it's crazy, insane. The projection. It's more of a high tech witch hunt. Although throughout the years it has been a little dangerous. And the things that they do is just seemingly just unreal. The difference between this modern day witch hunt that I've been dealing with is that the people that are doing it, to me, in my humble opinion, are beneath me in every single way. Honestly, I'm just keeping it real because, you know, uh, very immoral, repulsive personality types, bad energy, very mentally ill, obsessive. Um, and so I label them as stalkers. And so there was a complete witch hunt yesterday, and I'm guessing that they did it because it was Thursday. I guess they felt like they was going to throw me off, or I guess they're trying to stop my money or something, because some man needs to feel better about himself is basically what that is about. I think that that's genuinely what every witch hunt has been about, is that a man feels some type of way. Back in the day, witches, they owned land, they owned farms, and you know of course the fact that I'm black, mostly black, you know um is one other thing. One of the reasons why I kind of don't trip about these people is because you can tell that they are obviously very mentally ill. Because one minute they'll be spouting about how I'm the monster, but then the next thing you know, they're calling my child retarded and basically saying we don't, that. So basically, what they do is they accuse me, that not accuse me, they just tell lies, pretty much. They tell lies and say, oh my God, the children, da 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 da. I know I've raised four. I've raised four children. Uh, you know, oh my God, the children. And the next thing you know, they're saying, F your children. They're slow, they're ugly, they're pieces of crud, they're retarded. So they pretty much expose themselves at the same time. No respectful person wants to be a part of a trashy conversation from trashy people. In my humble opinion, these people are absolute garbage that we need to throw out. That's just my opinion. What else am I supposed to feel? But it's insane because it's basically not even about the church and them doing right by their God. What it is about is hate, jealousy, psychopathy. They're psychopaths, they're degenerates. These are criminals that need to be locked up in prison. They are committing crimes online. They don't believe that they are committing a crime because I'm a witch. And then, they're terribly confused and not very intelligent, because they will say all of these things and then say, oh, well, this is my freedom of speech. Well, no, actually, that's slander. Slander and freedom of speech is kind of different, you know. But anyway, you can't make people smart. It just I'm I've been saying it for years that clearly this witch hunt that I've been going through, it has an audience that obviously wants to hear disgusting lies about people. It's like a kink to them. They have fetishes. Okay, they have fetishes, and my family has been put through a lot because of these people. And I'm only calm about it because how else can I be? I'm not going to sit up here and have a heart attack or a stroke. Never over them. But they have put my family through a lot. I've been investigated by, oh my God, over 70 times. And it is just insane how people in social media feel that they can pry into people's lives, and it's not about their concern. No, there's no concern. These people are telling lies and they know they're lying. The reason why they're telling them is because, again, envy, jealousy, pain, hate, racism, sexism, misogyny. And then I guess some of the people that are financing the debacle probably do think that they're doing it for the church. The problem with that is that their own God tells them to not lie or bear false witness against people. But then again, in the Bible, I mean, it's not a 10 commandment, but in the Bible, it does say that you don't suffer a witch to live. I think it proves how harmful religion is. I mean, it only makes the case a lot tighter for the witches. And I don't think that these people quite understand that the world was here, people were here, witches were here far before the Bible was even written. And, I think that if I were not Black, I don't think that they would have anything to say. Now, I'm not telling them to go and attack anybody. I'm not saying, hey, why aren't you attacking that person? They shouldn't be attacking anybody. But I think that it's all about sex. Again, it's all about a fantasy of domination and control. It's highly sexually driven, just like the first witch hunt, where, witches were, they're not going to say it, but they were raped and killed, when they would do witch hunts. And, it was a little triggering, but I did some work with Hecate, which, I think that when you are a witch by soul and even by blood or both, she's there to help you through those trying times when you are being done like that, when you are being treated like that, when you were just, and, then also I was pointing out the fact that, there's some people, I was talking about this yesterday, how there's drug addiction. These people have drug addictions, and, they'll be willing to do anything for whatever they need, in my opinion. So, I think that whenever you are doing something and you are not taking other people into consideration, and you're not considering what you are doing to a person, I don't want to say that makes you worse than a witch, because there's nothing wrong with being a witch. I don't have any self hatred. If I had any self hatred as a witch, I would literally be upset. Like, I would feel heavy in the chest. I don't have an issue with being a witch whatsoever. And I think that it's also about trying to steal people's joy, misery. Misery loves company. You got people that are just miserable. They can't figure out why they can't kick you down, why they can't kick you down and keep you down. They can't figure these things out. And then also, I feel that a lot of them have probably tried to practice witchcraft but was unsuccessful at it. So now they mad. Well, I tried to practice the craft and it doesn't work for me. I can't get a spell to work to save my soul. Well, maybe because it's not for you. Maybe it's something that you shouldn't be doing, you know? So when they feel that their spells don't work, then what they have to do is they have to resort to lies and flagging your channel or flagging my channel. um, I'm going to be very honest though. Um, the witch hunt that I'm dealing with is because I'm black. These people have proven themselves to be racist, even some of the black people. So, I just, for me, I don't believe that I've ever been that affected by racism in my life until I came to YouTube, and then certain people, this group of people is known for hating black women. Such a shame. You're missing out. you know, we could have been friends. Okay. I'm a good friend to have around. That's why I have friends of all races, black, white. I was looking at this video earlier, though, of this black guy. He kind of concerned me. He was just fussing and fussing about witches and black witches. And he was fussing about how we letting the white folks in and all that stuff. Hmm. I don't contend with that. I am of a personal belief that racism equals death, curse. Yeah, there's racism out in the world, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to go and be racist because I think that being racist is ignorant. I do. You know, I think that being prejudiced it's a terrible thing. I don't see them having any happiness, peace and joy and harmony in their life. I'm not convinced of it. Because they will try to convince you, hey, I hate you because you're black, but I'm happy. Really? Hate and happy, that don't go together. And I have a multicultural background. I love all people. I don't have any hatred for children. These people show their hatred for children, but yet they'll say, in the name of Jesus. I don't believe that Jesus has anything to do with that, hun. I just, I'm just saying. But then again, you know, that's their religion. They can go out there, they can attack children, they can even possibly harm children. And they'll feel better about it because they feel as though they can go to Jesus and Jesus will forgive them. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to take that trip downstairs to the bowels of hell when they leave this earth. They going to hell. But whatever it is that they need to do to get by, maybe Jesus will hold your hand for a few minutes while you're falling down to hell, so you can ultimately be punished for an eternity by Satan. Well, not an eternity, but whenever, I guess, I do believe that there are some people that reincarnate from hell. Why not? Some of us, in some lifetimes, But I think that when you do that and you are a reincarnated soul from hell, I think that that lifetime is very distinctive. And, there's certain things because you're given another chance to do it over. And either you're going to do it right or you're going to do it wrong. So, I have like a lot of different beliefs in that. I do believe in heaven and hell. You don't have to be religious or Christian or Catholic to believe in heaven and hell. You don't. In fact, I'd like to do some research to find out, as far as with paganism, like the history and the roots of that. Like, were there early pagans that did believe in hell? Because I know I do, and I'm pagan. So, um, it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big of a deal. And so, but for me, you know what I do? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I wrote their names down on a piece of paper and burned it and put it in some salt and said, I banish all of that filth and disgusting talk. I don't talk that way and I don't participate in stuff like that. It was literally, I think when people are able to tell detailed lies about you, I believe that they're talking about themselves, especially when it's far from the truth, like it's not the truth at all. So, and it's a recycled lie because I think that people, again, they think, oh, I'm going to be rewarded for this. I don't believe that there's any reward. And I think that if there is a reward, there's going to be a price to pay. So, I mean, regardless to what you say, I am a witch. You do not have the right to treat me that way. And I'm going to continue to be a witch. You haven't changed anything except for your karma and possibly your fate. Okay. So, but I think that that is the modern day. Well, honestly, I think that when they're talking about a black person, they consider it more of a lynching. Okay. But, y'all know what I'm talking about, the witch hunt. Okay. And it's just so sad that people are that ignorant these days. It's just so sad. It's like I said, sometimes I believe that there are people that are literally going through these past life regressions. And because I don't feel that it has any place in this time and space that we're in, but I believe that those people, they may be stupid, but they not crazy because they not going to put their hands on me or my children ever. So, usually when somebody has that kind of hatred in themselves, I mean, that kind of anger, you know, that anger is going to sit inside of them and fester. And I've heard some of those people say that they're willing to die for it. And, that would make them suicidal. You know what I'm saying? That would mean that they don't want to live because I'm sorry, nothing is worth that, whatever it is. But again, like I said, there are some people that will do anything for a little chunk of change. And I'm talking about anything. And then, of course, there was another one that was literally thinks that she can give me some kind of identity issue because it worked on her. She admitted to having dissociative identity disorder. And so then she went into how I wasn't a witch. You're not a witch. You're a fake witch. Well, huh? So, somebody gave her an identity problem, told her who she was, and she believed it. This was used to be a friend of mine, told me that she was a witch. Now she's not a witch, which, she obviously is not one. Not that it's anything wrong with that, but it's kind of like, you know, who are you? Do you even know who you are? Because somebody is always telling you. It seems like people have to tell you who you are. So that would be proof, perhaps, that she's really not a witch, because witches, we sassy, we bossy when it comes to ourselves, because nobody can tell us who we are. And we do it very easily. You're not going to tell me who I am. You're not going to rename me. You're not going to, we're not, I'm not Kunta Kinte, and you trying to tell, you whipping me on my back, you know, and telling me to say my name is Toby. It's kind of bizarre. It really is. And it has no place in any kind of civilized society. It's absolutely disgusting, in my humble opinion. It's psychopathic, it's sociopathic. And I'm just happy to be me. I would rather be me than them in any lifetime. I'm very lucky. If you are not like that, you're very lucky, because people that are like that, they're suffering and they're miserable. And I believe that the previous witch hunt was all about misery. And then it's also the patriarchy and the hatred for women. Um, it is a fact. I did a video about this. I can't think of the name of the book that was written, but it was a really, really bloody history about this man. And he decided to go on a witch hunt based upon the Bible. He killed so many women and men. He killed a lot of people, mainly women. And the church dropped him because they were like, we can't get behind this. You're a psychopath. So he was, he murdered all these women, that was suspected of witchcraft. And, it was written, it was a known fact that this man just generally hated women. But usually when somebody hates something, like the fact that they hate children, please don't leave children alone with these people. Don't leave children alone with a person like that, please, or animals. Because a person with that much hatred, whether or not they are yelling, screaming, speaking violently, I don't trust people like that. People that can be calm while they lie on somebody, I'm sorry, but it could be, see, with me, I was raised by the women in my family. And my aunt Regina, she really was a very driving force in my moral compass my whole life. And she would always tell me, you see, I hate liars and I hate thieves. She just, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that stuck with me because, I was around the lady my entire life. So, it was something that is ingrained in me because she is my ancestor. My aunt Regina passed away. You know, so I wasn't raised to lie on people. Even if I think something about somebody, I try to say allegedly. Allegedly. You know, I'm saying allegedly, I feel like these people have addiction and drug problems based upon the rumors and what other people have said and their behavior. You know what I'm saying? So, the behavior is just absolutely off the wall. Definitely not anything that I would be interested in, being around or having around me, you know. And then, of course, at the same time, like what they always do. Oh, you like me, and you want to be my friend. And that's when you realize, like, eh, you know that there's a loneliness that's in these people. There's a longing that apparently it can't be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Something going on with them. So, I am absolutely disgusted by the behavior. And what I will tell you is that people that are already miserable, they don't think that it can get any worse for them, but it can. It can. You got to be careful out here. And so many people, they've cursed themselves, and then they'll be asking God, why is thou forsaken me? When you're committing evil atrocities against people for so long, thousands of years have attacked witches. If I were not an authentic witch, trust me, I wouldn't still be here, um, doing what I do. And those people that attack witches, they always have something horrible happen to them. That what I guess you could call it an act of God, but who is God? They always have, like, they got to understand that, back when those things happened, those people were cursed for generations for what they did, based upon what they read in their Bible. And it doesn't make any sense because they say that you're born into sin and you die in sin, but then you're not supposed to sin, and I just don't get it. I really don't. And I don't understand why somebody would. Well, I do understand, because there are people out there that are desperate. Times are hard, you know, and people are desperate. They are. They're very desperate. They will make up something. They crazy as cat shit. They will make up something. They will make up a lie in a New York minute. I've never seen people like that before. I can honestly say that this would be a first for me. And it's the same people, terribly obsessed, could really, really use some help, you know. And that obsession, typically people like that, they tend to commit self harm anyway. The girl that was the lady that was telling all these lies about me tonight or last night, she she forgets that I actually saw pictures, number one, of her murdering a cat. She murdered a cat, like I think she stabbed it to death or did something to it. But she also, I think I remember seeing pictures of her cutting herself. So she's got a lot of problems, you know, problems that I don't have. So again, I feel very lucky to be me, and it would suck to be her. because people like that are just kind of confused. And then I think that it's also the whole mothering thing, you know. This is I guess she's in her 30s or 40s. And, I guess there was never any mother's love there for her. Apparently, she was an adult when her mother passed on. You know what I mean? And she, obviously was not given the love that she needed to show herself love. And that's why there's nothing but hate there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, well, I can tell you that people that lie always get what they got coming to them. And sometimes, you know, it happens real fast. Just saying. And, they haven't really been liking some of the things that I've been saying on my channel. And then, of course, they can see the ratings because they're very triggered by ratings of videos. A lot of you that listen to me a lot, one of my top rated videos on the channel was the one where I spoke the other day. So it was really spirit giving them warning because, it's all about jealousy, right? And hating on somebody, hating on my business, hating on my company, Divine Services. And, I was talking about how, when you try to mess with somebody's livelihood, how you are throwing death at that person. You're trying to cause harm and destruction to that person. Um, and, so you're already compromised. You're already seen as a problematic person doing that out the gates. Nobody else, I've tried to explain to these people, but and I can imagine that their mother tried to do that too. You can't do things at another person's expense, especially an innocent person. You can't just do whatever you want. And that's something that I'm sure the lesson has been learned over and over again. But there's some people that just never actually take the hint. You know what I'm saying? And then especially, wow, that's a lot of hate. We're not talking about white lies. We're talking about major disgusting things that I can imagine if they had a following, a very, very, very large following, that those things could put innocent people in danger, such as myself. And, people sometimes will hear things like that and they won't have any discernment. And then they'll start attacking an innocent person. And then who's the karma going to go to? The karma has to go somewhere. The consequences have to go somewhere. So when you create content on youtube.com, you are responsible for that negativity. So if you tell somebody something and that person believes it, and you create some kind of destruction in that person's life because you're attacking an innocent person, and that person says, you know what, I believe that lie. So let me light a doom candle on her. Can you imagine how quickly that would backfire on a person? My God, that's one of the reasons why I don't tell lies. There is no way. I would tell a lie like that because I care about myself. I love myself and I care about other people. I'm not just going to go and lie on somebody about something like that. That's not you really showing yourself too much self-love. That it's almost like, please, somebody just in my life, somebody make the suffering stop, because clearly a person like that would be suffering. You're basically saying, I really don't care about myself and I'm self-destructive. That's basically what you're saying. And then to be on a public platform repeating it. So now you're getting other people involved. And those people, other people, they may not know if you're telling the truth or not. And so then you're creating a negative domino effect for not only yourself, but those other people that stand witness. You know what I'm saying? That are witnessing your lie. So now you may be responsible for a lot of different people's karma, you know? And you can't say, well, that's not my fault because they believed it. You know, it's a huge responsibility being an influencer. Even though everybody should be grown, you know. Now, I heard that a great deal of their audience, though, that group of people, I heard that a lot of them were children, like young. Okay, I heard that. And, but there's some adults, and clearly we know what the adults love to talk about. They have this sick fantasy. I've been saying it for years. And, I believe that if they were to be followed or investigated, they may find something that those people may be up to, or maybe if they check their computers, you know, if they check their computers, they may see something on there, probably some child porn. I know that these very same people created, like they literally created some porn, kitty porn, with photographs, with screenshots. So clearly these people have some kind of sick obsession, you know, with, diddling children. Anybody that would take the time to sit and Photoshop something, you'd have to think, what kind of mind is that? That's a deviant mind that would do that. For you to even think of something like that, for you to actually take time out of your day to do that. And that makes them look bad, and they want the prize, but the prize ain't gonna never come. What's supposed to be the prize? The prize is that you're gonna destroy an innocent person, an innocent woman's life. Child, you don't stand a chance. You're just doing it for nothing. You're just wasting your breath, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting your energy. And I believe in God. I do. I believe in God. I don't, some of these people, it's funny because, they say, well, you're a witch, you don't believe in God. Well, or, it reminds me of that lady that was like, she's not a Christian. It's like, that's the most ridiculous thing that you could ever say, because, so their belief system is based upon their beliefs. They don't want other people to have their own belief system. It's typically, feel like it's in America too, because you go to other countries and they don't know what the heck you're talking about. They're like, what in the world are you talking about? We worship Buddha over here, or what do you mean? I don't understand it. So it's just it's a bunch of ignorance and barbaric, just very barbaric behavior. So um, somebody was telling me that I should file a lawsuit. They don't have nothing to sue for. If I were to file a lawsuit against them, they would probably end up in jail because when you sue somebody in civil court for something like, well, maybe it's not the same in every state. I know that in Kansas, if somebody sues you in civil court and they win and you don't pay whatever that debt is, they will put you in jail. They'll put you in jail for not paying a ticket in Kansas. So, I don't really know the state law on that in Georgia. But in some states, if you lose a civil case and there's a monetary judgment, you can go to jail if you don't pay it. Okay. So, and I know that because I had to sue somebody in Kansas. I didn't have a choice. Well, I did have a choice, but I did it because it was a tough and trying time. The bottom line is that this group of people that we're talking about, let's talk about that. Let's revisit that for a second. This same group of people stalked me all the way from Missouri to Kansas to Georgia, literally, right? And so when I lived in Kansas, they had contacted my landlord when I lived in Kansas. And of course, it was because of jealousy. I had a cute little duplex. Oh my God. It had like you flip a switch and you had your fireplace going. It was beautiful. It was a really, really nice duplex. And so, of course, they were jealous. Okay. Because that's what they operate on is jealousy. And they contacted the landlord, and the landlord just you know, just all of a sudden, and I ended up having to move when I was like 8 months pregnant with my child, and the landlord began to neglect the property. And so I had a pipe that it was either running or leaking or busted. You could just hear water running behind the wall. And so I kept contacting the landlord to get it fixed. And it took her like, she's a married, it's a couple. It took them like months to do it. And in the meantime, my water bill was astronomical. And so I asked her, before I moved, I said, can you, help me with this water bill? Because this has made my water bill go up. And she said no. So I took her to civil court. And, I think she had to pay like half of the water bill. They ruled in my favor for her to pay half of the water bill. And see, that's their fault. They got the landlord sued. So I think that those people, they need, I have full faith in the judicial system, in our criminal justice system, that eventually those people are going to be brought to justice because they do sometimes, some of the things that they have done historically has created problems for people. That's all they do. They're very problematic people. The landlord wouldn't have got sued if they not done that. And they don't care. They don't care about who they affect. They don't care about who they harm. They just, they're just vagrants. I personally believe that a group of people that are doing that online, they need to go to jail. Whoever is responsible for it. No, this is one of the reasons why I've never made moves like that. I ain't never contacted nobody's job. I ain't never contacted nobody's landlord. I don't bother people, and they have been known to do that. And that is the reality, and um it's not about who's gonna snitch because they got their own little rules, about snitching, You never know who may be watching. I know for a fact that they're already being watched. Do they care? Nope, they don't. You know, lighten up these jars and stuff. So, it just, I don't know what to tell these people. I really don't. I will tell you that as a witch, as somebody that has seen possess people, that is possession. Possession doesn't really look like what you see in The Exorcist. That's considered to be possession. Those people are possessed by very angry and spiteful spirits. You know, when your mother is raising you or rearing you or carrying you in her stomach, in her womb, you know, and when you come out of your mother's womb, your mother is supposed to somehow rid you of those spirits, but then possibly at some point during the raising of these people, something must have happened to them. You know what I'm saying? And, we hear about people like that doing disgusting, awful things all the time. They're very violent. Okay. He's a very violent male, very hateful, misogynistic male, very violent. I mean, my goodness. Reminds me of somebody that smokes methamphetamines. Okay. Just violent for no reason, towards a woman too, wants to see violence being done to a woman. It's very sick, you know. And I already said that, I kind of believe that mental health is kind of a joke to have people walking around like that who literally behave like they just walked out of an insane asylum. They literally all somehow act the same. And I was wondering, I said, did all these people just so happen to meet each other in the same support group for mental health? Because it's crazy how they all do the same thing. But I've said that these people are in a cult, and this particular cult not only hates women, but especially hates Black women. And I believe they are a death cult. They hate life. They hate happiness. They do. I've said it so many times, especially if you hate the Black woman. They say that Black women are the original woman and all this stuff, whatever. But there's people that are like that. They just hate life. They attack pregnant women. They were attacking me while I was pregnant with my son. They don't like life. They like death. Very, very, just awful people, just despicable people, So it doesn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that they disturb the peace all the time. Hey, I understand that you're depressed, you're sad, is something wrong with you, you don't like it, you don't like life, you don't like your life, you're sad, you know well, why do you have to bother the rest of the people? Why don't you go and suffer alone? If that's what you're going to do, they almost act like they've been diagnosed with cancer and they're angry. It's weird. you know I don't know. So anyway, there's nobody in this world that is meant to take on the burden and the bad energy of these people. It just doesn't work that way. And that's typically what people like that are trying to do. They either feel guilty for something, you know, or maybe they don't feel guilty, but I think that they do. Something that they've done or something that they participated in that they might feel guilty about. And I guess it boils over when it sits on their consciousness and they have to lash out at other people, because that's all they've been doing for years is lashing out. Very, very unstable people that probably could benefit from seeing a therapist or a counselor. But whoever is manning or in charge of these people, whoever their handler is, probably won't allow that, you know, because it's a very miserable person that, wants to give them home remedies and in house treatments for this, terrible, possibly multiple mental illnesses that they display. I mean, it's every day. It's every single day. It is. It's every day. Daily harassment, daily trying to lie on somebody, daily. They cannot stop. They don't even want you to speak your truth or the truth, or they've got something to say because they feel, I guess if they lie on you, that takes the heat off of them, but it doesn't, because the person that you're lying on, why in the hell should they have to feel any of the burden? I mean, they can cause people to have external problems, maybe. But as far as the way that you may feel, for me, I've been burdened by a lot of different things, but I handle those things differently than other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them type of people that rolls with the punches. I don't let things upset me or scare me because I have faith. And then also, I know how to think. I'm not fearful. I know how to cover myself. Okay. So, it's just really sad, and so there, no witch has to sit up there and take on y'all iniquities or y'all bad energy. Nobody has to take that on. That's on you. You're not going to be able to project and put your bad energy off on anybody. When it's all said and done. So, just is what it is. Really? So apparently, hold on, y'all. They've been flagging falsely. So they must have falsely flagged one of my other videos. So they're it's not gonna make a difference. It's not. You can flag this channel. It's not gonna make a difference. No matter what you do, it's not gonna make a difference for you. It's not. So they just falsely flagged one of my videos for medical misinformation. These people are pathetic, you know? So their lives will get worse. Nothing that they do to anybody else is going to make their lives any better. Nothing. And I don't even think they want to. I think these people have given up on life. Anytime you tell lies like that about people, you do not care about your life. Most people are going to sit down and they're going to have a consciousness about that. They're going to say, wait a minute, should I do that? No, that looks like something I shouldn't be doing to another human being. Maybe y'all not human. Because I've never in my life seen another human being have the capability to lie like that. And to just constantly be on, no matter what time of the day I go live, they're up listening. Do these people ever sleep? It's so weird. So, anyway, karmas are coming no matter what they do. Um, and like I said, these people, boy, they got so much hatred, you know, that they actually do want to do harm to me. But guess what? Nothing bad is going to happen to me. But something bad is going to happen to you. That's all I have to say. I'm not going to repeat what they said because I'm not into those kinds of conversations. I'm not, how do I put this? I don't want to say weirdo. I'm not into the things that y'all are into sexually. Let's put it like that. I'm not into that. So I'm not going to repeat those things. And that's all they talk about. That's like, you are what you talk about. And that's all y'all talk about all the time, constantly. If that's what you think about, if that's what you talk about, then you're talking about yourself. Now, keep in mind, I existed on this earth for what, 37 years? And oh, here's another thing I want y'all to know. I do believe that these people are a group of pedophiles. I will say that because the people that they surround themselves with years ago when I had another channel, um, I was very upset. It was it was literally very upsetting. I ran across this news article where these men in an African village had raped a newborn baby. And I did, of course, who wouldn't say that? I'm not a pedophile apologist and I don't support pedophilia. Okay. But I stated that, those men needed to be murdered, just put them to death, put them to death for doing that to a newborn baby girl. Okay. And their little head leader in charge that they follow, he's like a god to these people. He started stalking me immediately after. That's where the hate started. That's where the hate originally started. That's where the stalking originally started. Was when I spoke about that on, it was the channel was Bigotry Free TV. That's where the hatred started. Y'all connect the dots. A group of people all of a sudden, and then their head leader in charge kept accusing me of saying that 90% of black men need to be murdered. And that's not what I said. But he kept saying it because that's what they do. They lie constantly. And, I'm not going to go back and forth with him. I mean, but I believe that the reason why I started getting stalked by that group of people is because they are into pedophilia. They sit around and talk about it all the time. You connect the dots. I'm advocating for children and for the protection of children. This was like 11 years ago when this happened. This was 11 years ago when all this went down, when I had that bigotry free TV channel. Ever since then, these people started stalking me, and it's been nothing but hate. So I believe that they're pedophiles, allegedly is what I'll say, but it kind of would make sense since they love to talk about it. They love to hear about it. And then they also produce photoshopped videos with children. That's one of the reasons why I quit showing my children on camera. These people began stalking me, um, hardcore when my youngest was like, what? He was about 2 years old. That's when it got worse. And, they would come into the chat room and they would try to tell me a location to take my kid and drop him off. And I'm like, are you crazy? You think that I'm going to listen to a troll telling me where, like a specific location where I should take my child? And I was being stalked. There was one time they had filed a false defects report. Keep in mind, these sick people, oh my God, thank the God for the goddess, but there was one time, I guess the pedo of the group had made a false anonymous CPS report, and literally I had to hear sexual acts that they had stated to that agency. And they were like, yeah, they were like, this person is very sick. And it was insane, so I'm convinced that's all they talk about constantly. It always rests on that, and so first of all, mothers hate pedophiles. I hate pedophiles. I do. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have a lot of hatred for pedophiles. Okay. And as a mother, just hearing the disgusting things that they say doesn't interest me. And this is one of the reasons why I really don't listen to their lives. As soon as they start talking about sex with children, I'm like, oh God, I'm out, and I believe that anybody that is near or involved with those people is into that. This is one of the reasons why I adamantly, which of course I'm not a part of that, I've been a victim of this group of people, this cult, harassing and stalking me, swatting my house, dropping my documents. So, I mean, any sane and rational person is going to be like, yeah, because if I were actually a part of that, those things would have never happened. I would be running with them. I would be on some kind of team. I would have my own team, and I don't. I don't have a team. I'm not interested in that. It's not interesting to me whatsoever at all. But throughout the years, I have done my due diligence and I have reported them. I've reported the sector. I've reported those people to the FBI. I've reported them to the police. Trust me, the police have been notified. In fact, the police and the FBI in Florida actually followed up with me about something that was involved. And I don't know if I believe it said FBI of Florida about a different type of sex crime, which could have been just about anything, you know. I don't know why these people are allowed to run amok. It's something that we should definitely maybe write into the White House about it. Hopefully, the police are watching this right now so that they can take action and start investigating these people. Because I do believe that they do need to be investigated. Criminals have a hard time not telling on themselves. Some of them. They have expressed way too much interest in children. Literally, while all of this sick stuff was going on, it was a weird troll account saying, "We'll adopt her kid." Can you imagine somebody from that group of people being alone with your child for even a second? Then they try to make me seem like a bad person when I wish death on them. I'm a mother. I recognize that something is wrong with y'all. And that's why when I was dating somebody, that's one of the reasons why I was so adamant about him leaving. Because I'm like, hey, I need for you to do that to make me feel better. Because, these people, wow, wow, it's too sick. They talk about each other's children sexually. I mean, it is just I'm shocked that they are even allowed to still be on YouTube. It's very shocking. But I think one of the reasons why they're still on here is because, their channels are not that big, but that should not matter. I have been extremely busy the last 4 years, extremely. I haven't had the time to actually sit down cuz trust me, I've got copies of letters that I've sent over to YouTube to alert them of these people and what they do and the things that they talk about. So, but I haven't done that in years. YouTube still allows them to have channels because I guess it's a part of their freedom of speech to talk about sex with children. I guess it's a part of their freedom of speech to go back and forth and talk about how they're going to rape each other's children. This is what they do, and as a mother, you know, to be honest with you, I wish that they would all die. What would any mother feel? What would any decent person feel? And they try to create this environment where, they act like this is normal for the whole world. And it's like, no, y'all are a minority because most people, including myself, would be absolutely repulsed by just the things that they talk about. It's repulsive, you know? So I will say in the defense of the person that I was involved with personally, I don't believe he's like that in my defense as well. Rather, I feel that they kind of threaten people. Nobody wants the police at their house and stuff like that, but I personally think that somebody's going to have to grab the bull by the horns and get those people locked up. I think that it's enough. I believe that they've done enough. And, even though they will remove their videos, those videos can always be retrieved. Just because you delete something doesn't mean that it's gone. So all of those videos can be retrieved. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give y'all some more details. That sick photoshopped photo that they did, years ago. It's already been investigated by the police. The police and DFACS saw the original. In fact, they watched it immediately, even while it was live. They didn't see anything like that. So they literally took a screenshot from two videos. This is actually on record. I'm not going to go down to the DeKalb County DFACS office and get that, but it's there. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, they are very sick and twisted people. So, it's serious in a sense. It's very serious, but my children will always be protected and safe. Y'all realize? Let me tell y'all something. I had over 60 defects visits, which means that I made over 60 friends. They knew what was going on. They knew what those people were doing. And, it's quite different over in Georgia because, considering the area. But when I was over in Kansas, I mean, these people are so psychotic that what they would do is they would get hundreds of people to call into DFACS to make reports, so they're very sick people. They really are. Uh, but, I think that that's not even the tip of the iceberg of what they're actually up to in real life. I'm not even going to lie to you. Am I afraid of them? Nope. If they come around me, I'll knock their heads off. So they're not going to touch any of my children, and they never have. Nothing bad has ever happened to my family, and nothing will. So, that's just what that is, okay? And that's God, you got to be a real disgusting, sick, twisted person to target somebody like that. And because you have an intention to hurt somebody's family. In fact, they're so like, that's why I said I believe they're on drugs. Because again, their head leader in charge said, I'm surprised that you ain't murked yourself by now. Like, I was like, to huh? I was like, you think you got that kind of power? And, so they're very, they should be taken off the streets. They should. I'm not even gonna lie to you, you know. And but again, I'm not worried about them being on my street. So, but I do think that for the safety of the public, you know, and that's why that whole group hates me. It's a hate group against me because I'm a mother who would literally destroy them if they ever tried to come anywhere near my children. Okay. So, a mom that is not a drug addict that's willing to sell her children to them for drugs, a mom that is not going to let them do harm to her children is their enemy because that's exactly what they want to do is harm children. And, that's just what that is. So I'm shocked that, but I guess just talking about it online, I mean, there has been instances, and I don't know if it's the truth because I haven't confirmed it, but supposedly one of them, was picked up by the police and questioned because of some things that he had said online, you know. So I mean, it's totally insane. On why, pray tell, they're still active in social media is a shock to me, you know? And they don't, like, they have channels that re-upload their videos. There's nobody, because I didn't feel the need to do it, but there's nobody actually saving and downloading unless the police are doing it behind the scenes. When they do disgusting things, I mean, they've actually produced child porn in the past couple of years. One of the guys in the sector, his daughter, they took a picture of his daughter and photoshopped a tongue on the picture. So we automatically know what kind of folks we dealing with here. And they're angry. They're angry because they probably want access to children. You never know what their real names is. They're probably registered sex offenders as well. God only knows who these people are. I tell you what they are. They're domestic terrorists. And I don't negotiate with terrorists. Okay? Yeah, Ashley. I mean, I haven't really had the time to really sit down and talk about all the things that they have done. But yeah, that's happened recently. And I'm thinking, well, why in the heck are y'all doing that on YouTube? I don't get it. You would think that they would have it, that it would be enough for them to be on a private group, but I guess I guess if they were to just do it in private, I guess their people wouldn't see it, so they want more people, but they never grow. They've been stuck at the same thing for so long. It's shocking. A friend of mine, that I knew this guy for 3 years. I wasn't intimate with him or anything, but a friend of mine that lives over in Georgia also, uh I was shocked. He immediately went in that sector, immediately. And I'm like, do you know what these people are really about? Apparently he does. So everybody that's associated with that sector, everybody that is cool with what they do, not associated, but everybody that is cool with what they do, questionable. They get the side eye. It's like, do you really know what these people are about? But what they do, Ashley, is they take the videos down. So new people don't actually see what they're up to. And, they don't talk about, they'll get together and they'll say, well, we don't want, we're not going to talk about that. But I guess there's investors. I guess they have investors. I don't know. I have no idea who would invest in something like that besides a pedophile and a child abuser or a woman beater, or just a genuine, just a violent person in general. You know what I'm saying? I've never donated one red cent of my money to that to them, and I never. Well, let me take that back. I did unwittingly and unknowingly before I could actually see what these people were about. I don't care what you say, you are what you talk about. Especially when you just keep bringing it up. But that girl that was on there last night talking crap about me, I actually donated like $20 so that she could get her something to eat. This was years and years ago. But when I saw how insane they were, I was like, oh God, I've been saying the same thing for years, and the stalking continues. The internet stalking continues, and the main dude that they all flock around, and who it's centered around. He's been asked several times to quit bringing me up. Now he's buddied up, with this other chick, and now she's involved, and which I believe she's been involved. Okay, I think that she's been involved with them, but she just, fooled me. So, yeah, it's very disturbing to know that people are actually out there that are like that. I grew up very sheltered from crazy stuff like that. I've been through some things, you know what I'm saying? I've had some experiences, but to have all that going on to where it's like pedophilia, violence, you know, they are very twisted, a bunch of clowns, pretty much. Okay, is what they are. So I'm curious as to what this video is that they were able to flag, though, because I'm still live, clearly. I'm wondering if they flagged this one in particular. I don't know why they got they panties in a bunch like that. It's so weird. Like I said, they tend to get worse. The behavior tends to get worse around the holidays. So, and I've just been praying to Saint Michael that, that they go to jail or something, because it's very, very unsettling, knowing that people like that are not locked up somewhere. But I guess they what they do goes into like a gray area, you know what I'm saying? But I bet if they were to be investigated or something, somebody look at their computers, maybe check down in their basement, maybe look for some trap doors or something, they probably would find something. I don't know. I'm just saying, because it just, for you to be that crazy and psychotic every single day, something is up with that. Like, and it's not normal. It's not like a like how you see people in social media and they got beefs and they go back and forth. These people are different. They're different. They're not like, when you see, I was just looking at a beef um on TikTok, and yeah, he was saying, they were saying that it was a spirit, it was between spiritualists, but he was saying that he had gotten doxxed or whatever. But these people are at a whole other level of cray cray. Am I worried about them? They know better. They so know better. They do. You know. So the why am I making a big deal about it? No, it's not something that you have to fear, like these, but what I will tell you is that, you know, I don't predict them. I don't predict, I don't see good things happening for them. It's almost like they are, they've got some kind of destiny or fate that's not good. You know what I'm saying? So, at the very least, socially, they're social lepers at the very least. I mean, but I had somebody tell me that I was a social leper or whatever, because, well, she wasn't telling the truth about what I supposedly had done. But because that was a lie. But I'm like, do you not see what these people are doing? Like, it's almost like jigsaw or something. It's very weird. And they do what they do to each other. You know, typically when if it ever involves me, it's because of somebody. And just recently, that the excuse now is this recent chick that posed as a client. These two chicks that posed as a client, they were fake from the beginning. I've never had a fake client until then either, but they were fake from the beginning, in my opinion. You don't just go and cozy up to people like that, just all at once. But you know, so that's the newest excuse. That's the newest person that they use. Anyway, they don't like me because I'm happy and I love myself and I love my children and I'm successful. That's why they don't like me. And that's the bottom line to it. So, anyway, I know that what I was going to say in closing is that I am moving out of this house. Yes, I will have somewhere to go. I haven't figured that out once I do move. I mean, it's, kind of like not at that stage at this point. Um, but I am going to when I move, and I'll make sure they don't know where I live because they're just a nuisance. They really are. They are definitely a nuisance. They're like children playing with the phone. You know how children do prank phone calls? The only difference is that because they have swatted people before, okay? And I've been swatted by them. That can be very dangerous, but whenever that's happened to me, when it happened once, um it actually happened twice actually. And so I'm safe, I'm protected. I already know that, you know. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I think that everybody is going to be breathing a sigh of relief whenever, especially the main person, because he just keeps it going. He does. He keeps it going. He just keeps, yeah, he just keeps it going. And it's like, you have, like, aren't you a father? Like, why are you keeping this going again? Like, and the audience, the people that watch, they're just, I don't know. I guess, I guess it gives them something to do in their spare time, I guess. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah. I've been sitting over here twisting my hair. And I think I'm a detangle again and put it back in my. I think I'm gonna give my head a break because it's been pulled up in this pineapple for days now. I think I'm gonna give my head a break. That's what I'm gonna do because that thing was in there tight. Yeah, I'm gonna give my head a break because I've had my hair up in a pineapple for since I took my extensions out. So, but anyway, y'all, I would appreciate it if them people would quit talking about me, but of course they don't want to talk about me. For some reason they keep saying I'm an easy target. How? You know what? Easy target? I don't think so. But I would appreciate it if they would leave me up out of that. But they're pedos. I'm convinced of it. They are factually pedophiles. And I have a kid. And you can tell that they're pedophiles because one thing that I notice about them, you know what pedophiles do? And I've noticed this about them just through observation when, even when I've heard people talk about pedophiles. What I've noticed that pedophiles do is they always have to say that the child is older than what they are. So, they'll say things like, oh, her son is 13 now. Oh, he's 14 now. Oh, they always have made him older than what he is. And I forget where I originally saw that, but that is something that they do. It's almost like it's weird. It kind of reminds you of, how in Hollywood, how they cast older children to play younger role. These people don't deal with reality very well. Anybody that lies like that clearly is out of touch with reality anyway. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to have some kind of backlash, for lying on people. That doesn't, it's obvious that it's some serious mental illness. But you still can't go around lying on people like that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, sorry I had to take y'all through the dark fortress. You know, there will be light. Okay. So anyway, I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Have a happy Friday. I'll be seeing y'all a little later on. Just in case they actually manage to flag this channel, y'all can go to the Witch's Broom channel. It's just the Witch's Broom. I don't have the link, but if you search it, you'll find it. If I don't go live on this channel, that means that they've restricted me. Even though I'm still live now, but it could still be restricted and I won't be able to go live. Y'all can go to the Witch's Broom channel. One thing I want to say to them before I go, you're not going to run me off of social media. You're not going to do that. And the fact that you flagged one of my videos because you don't like what I'm talking about, because you're trying to control the narrative, you're going to make that like literally, I'm going to get some results. I will spend all day. I will spend 2 or 3 days making sure that y'all get reported to the proper authorities. Move on. You're not going to run me off of anywhere. Nobody's afraid of you. Nobody is intimidated by you. You're a liar. You're sick. Flagging me is not going to change that. Okay? Is what I want to say to them personally. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace and love to y'all. And I will be seeing y'all later. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.